How to manage and fight back against pollen attacks. Pollen is a powdery substance emitted from plants to pollinate and reproduce. Pollen relies on nature to get where it needs to go. It transports to its intended destination either by the wind or insect pollinators such as bees and butterflies. Pollen that's moved from place to place by insects is relatively harmless to allergy sufferers. It is pollen spread by the wind that triggers those who suffer from pollen sensitivities. Plants that rely on pollen to be spread by the wind are referred to as anemophilous. These types of plants tend to reproduce much higher amounts of pollen that is necessary for reproduction because depending on wind is less reliable than depending on insects or birds to directly transport pollen. Although using the wind ensures that some of the pollen will get to where it needs to go, it results in a high amount of excess pollen in the air. Pollen is extremely lightweight and it floats around quite effortlessly in the air. Many people suffer from allergy symptoms at particular times of the year when the pollen count for a particular plant is high. These symptoms are often an allergic reaction to the pollen that's in the air. Hay fever is a term commonly used to describe a pollen allergy, although the term is usually associated specifically with ragweed. Sufferers of pollen allergies can experience a range of symptoms including watery eyes, sore throat, rhinitis, coughing, sneezing, and/or increased mucus production. Effects can also range in severity. While some may be merely annoyed by mild reactions, others might be so negatively affected by the pollen in the air that they have a hard time even being outside. Climate can make a difference in the severity of pollen allergy symptoms. Living in an area with high temperatures, low humidity, and a lot of wind puts allergy sufferers at a greater risk of exposure to high concentrations of pollen, resulting in inflamed pollen allergy symptoms. Areas with humid climates and more precipitation have lower pollen levels because pollen is more frequently washed out of the air, reducing the risk of exposure to airborne pollen and offering symptom relief. Many weather services report on the pollen levels in different cities. Called a pollen count, these reports usually predict pollen levels for the upcoming week and can be a good resource for pollen-sensitive individuals to use as an indicator of their exposure risk if spending time outdoors. Those regularly taking antihistamines or other medications for allergies may find it helpful to follow the forecasted pollen count and proactively adjust the medication they'll need to take to combat pollen-related symptoms. Not everyone who suffers from pollen allergies are sensitive to the same types of pollens. It's possible to be more susceptible to one specific type of pollen and not others. It is also possible to experience allergy symptoms related to chemical sensitivities and mistake that sensitivity for a pollen allergy. This is more likely the case if the majority of your symptoms are experienced while indoors. One way to determine what's triggering your allergy symptoms is to pay attention to your reactions. Your reactions, and even the times of the year that you get them, will vary depending on which pollen or substance you're allergic to. It's a good idea to keep track of both your symptoms and when you experience them in order to pinpoint the cause. If you find that you typically experience symptoms in the springtime, you could be allergic to pollen from trees, as this is the time when trees such as elm, pine, birch, and cypress begin releasing pollen. If you're feeling bad in the summer, you might blame the grasses that are at their peak and releasing the most pollen. If your symptoms are worse in fall, you might be most sensitive to weeds like ragweed, nettle, and sorrel that are producing more pollen around this time. Ragweed in particular is known to cause allergy sufferers a lot of problems when the weather gets cooler. An allergist can determine what specific pollen or chemical you're allergic to. This is usually done by conducting a skin test in which a small patch of skin is tested for several allergens at the same time by pricking the top layer of the skin with different diluted allergens. If there's a reaction in the area in which a specific allergen is inserted, the specialist can then determine how severe the allergy is and pinpoint the exact cause of the symptoms. Unfortunately, you might not always find relief from your pollen allergies just by going indoors. Indoor environments can trap quite a bit of allergens, and unlike outdoor allergens, these have nowhere else to escape to and can build up over time. Other substances like mold, mildew, and bacteria can also accumulate in damp indoor environments. These spores can cause you to become ill or experience allergy symptoms. Common indoor allergens are also present in the dust found in your home. Allergens that make up dust include dust mites, pet dander, fabric fibers, mold spores, and other airborne materials. Human hair and skin particles, as well as insect fragments, can also induce allergy symptoms. Pollen may still even make its way indoors if you have plants inside. Indoor allergens are usually present on a year-round basis, but may worsen symptoms particularly during cold weather when windows are shut and there's less ventilation. Even if you do leave your windows open, allergens can get in from outside. Keeping your home generally clean and decluttered is an important step towards diminishing the negative effects of indoor allergens as well as outdoor allergens that might be trapped inside. Even when using an air purifier for dust in your home, Mold, dander, and other allergens will continue to make their way into the air and around your home. It is important to clean and dust regularly in addition to other solutions to maintain maximum air quality. While it's true that indoor environments can be just as bad for allergy sufferers as being outdoors, there's one solution that can improve indoor air quality and reduce allergens present. Use an air purifier with HEPA filtration. HEPA is an acronym for High Efficiency Particulate Air. It is a mechanical technology used in air filters and is effective at fighting against allergens in the air. As standardized by the U.S. Department of Energy, HEPA filters must effectively catch 99.7% of particulates that are 0.3 microns or larger. For size comparison, a strand of hair is around 100 microns wide. Coupled with maintaining a clean and clutter-free home, using a HEPA filter and air purifier on a regular basis can drastically reduce the number of allergens in a treated area. Most allergy sufferers see a dramatic improvement in symptoms after using a HEPA filter, sometimes in as little as a few days. Although there are many air purifiers on the market that utilize HEPA technology, they are not all equally effective in ridding the air of allergens and allergy-triggering irritants. The best air purifier for allergy sufferers is the EnviroKlenz Mobile system. This air purifier combines HEPA filtration with our proprietary technology. The EnviroKlenz air cartridge includes a blend of materials designed not only to trap larger particulates and VOCs, but to neutralize them in any odors they may produce. The EnviroKlenz Mobile system is designed to both catch the allergens and irritants and to neutralize them. Its technology effectively deactivates harmful chemicals and traps allergens like pollen, dander, and mold so they can no longer circulate in the air. And unlike other air filters, they don't release anything else into your air. The EnviroKlenz Mobile system is perfect for homes and businesses and is built on casters, allowing it to be easily portable. The system utilizes a patented earth mineral technology that works to take the chemical odors and malodors into the cartridge where it attacks and neutralizes the molecular structure of the contaminants without releasing any chemicals or masking agents back into the environment. The system is built to cover a radius of 850 feet at 4 different speed options, producing minimal sound even at its higher settings. If you suffer from allergies throughout the year, whether from indoor allergies or outdoor, the EnviroKlenz Mobile system is the best option for quick and lasting relief.